All right, Ken folks. So for those who don't know you, can you introduce yourself to the people? Let us know who you are and where you're from.
Yes, sir. So everybody formerly know me as Ahmaud Harris. But for those who really know me like family, I go, they call me Bubba. I'm from I'm from Tulsa, man. Grew up on the west and the north.
What was life like for you growing up? I'm saying in Tulsa.
Man, it was crazy, man. Like I grew up in like the kind of like the worst parts, like the west and the north. But I mean, it was cool. Growing up, I definitely like owe a lot of shit myself to be, my childhood in North Tulsa. A lot, yeah.
All right, so you know what I'm saying? Like you said, you grew up consider what they consider the worst parts of Tulsa, the north and the west, but you overcame a lot of those situations. You know what I mean? As far as those environments, you know what I mean? How did you overcome getting involved into the street life?
So a lot of people don't know this. So my dad's side, like the Kaufmans, like they grew up, like gang banging. So like they were. I don't want to say the gang names because I don't. This ain't time for that. But like it was, they were really heavy in a street fraternity, and like I that's what I got when I was with my dad said all the time. It was just yeah, it was there's a lot of gangster music, fighting, um, but like some good boyhood stuff, like just like learning tough love, still family, um, but then with just it was different from my mama's side. So like yeah, I learned a lot about like gang activity, street activity, a lot from my my patrilineal side. But like on my mom's side, it was different. It was, I mean, you know, it was still hood and shit. Like I grew up in Comanche Park. I like had hella cousins out there, had hella homies. But it was still in like in a like a in the hood.
Yeah.
Um, and but like um, I learned like like different traditions. Like it wasn't the gang life that was on my father's side, but it was more like I say like hood life. Like you got fights, you got robbers, you got stealers. Everybody know who the neighborhood hoe was. Everybody know who the neighborhood crackhead was. You had certain words, bodine and all this stuff. So like, even though like there was real world or life experiences that I had out there, like to us it was like an adventure. It's growing up as kids, just trying to be kids. So, but like like I got introduced to like cousins and uncles and on my mom's side more or less than my father's. So like I know about like family reunions and family traditions and just being outside, and learning like how deeper like I guess our culture gets. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So you've earned 4 degrees. You know what I mean? That's a huge accomplishment. You know what I mean? Can you walk us through your academic journey and what motivated you to pursue a higher education?
Man, probably like the best and like the hardest thing like I probably did in my life. Man, I ain't gonna lie, it was a struggle at first because like I was always a smart kid, but I just was always so influenced by just stupid shit. So I never really took it serious. At first, I knew I was smart. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't have any idea how to get there.
Right.
But having kids, man, it kind of inspired me to show them that I can be somebody for them. So and I knew I could do it. Like I always knew I could do it. I just was, I played, I played around a lot, but I knew that wasn't really in me, and like the integrity part of it. So like I just went and I never went back. And yeah, like and I told myself I was just going to not get as much as I can, but like I'm a poor kid from the north. I'm gonna show my ass.
Which degree challenged you the most and why?
Uh, I, I would say my psychology. Um, that challenged me the most because like you said, like we had a conversation before the pod started, is that shit. we don't use a lot of our mind. So,
Mhm.
and then like I learned a lot of harsh truths about myself, about situations I've been in. It could be personal reasons from childhood, that trauma, that experience, mental, or stuff that I was going through, stuff that I knew people was going through. Especially like being a black father
Mhm.
and going through the plight of that, of
Hmm.
being a black father, not just a black man, a black father. So like a lot of that, man, it like, man, I learned some harsh, ugly truths, but I got to learn more about myself and then like in the mindset. So I would say like that was the hardest one, but man, like it really kind of upgraded my perspective on life too. So I really like I love it at the same time.
When you said childhood trauma, that's something I think a lot of people, not even just black people, but people in general, suffer from as adults.
Oh
I
yeah,
could,
I mean, yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, you good. Go ahead. You can speak on it.
Because like a lot of mine came from just like having to grow up too early. And a lot of experiences that I was seeing on my daddy's side that like a kid probably should have been around that.
Hmm.
And then, and also like there was a time on my mama's side where, I see my brother get hit by a van. So, but you see this all at a young age. I think I was like 7 or 8 when I seen that. And then, stuff on the other side, I was young. But like I was told, as any black boy is told, to just you'll be all right. So and and I got deep into the understanding of that, and then seeing why stuff like that happen, or like how it makes you react towards certain things, triggers and stuff like that. So like yeah, it really helped me out a lot.
How did your time in school shape the person you are today?
Man, just the discipline of it, like just really like really focusing, really honing down on what you're doing, and and the reason why you're doing it, and like I feel like it definitely educated me a lot on a lot of concepts that I saw in myself that was poor about myself.
Hmm.
Um, and something I can help my kids with, help my friends with, help a community of people with, and because like I've always been the type of person. So I mean, I just really feel like the discipline aspect of it really just like helped me a lot as far as just like being meticulous on like how I want to move now.
You went to the Navy in 2013, right? And
Mhm.
you retired in 2017. What made you decide to enlist?
Man, so I got an Uncle Kenneth who I grew up with too, and like he's one of my favorite uncles. I mean, like I know man, he used to watch man, what is that show called? God, um
You're not talking about MASH, are you?
nah, no, no, no. It's kind of newer, but it's kind of older. Walker Texas Rangers, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And I don't know, man. It was this show about the Navy on there that like he really enjoyed. He told me a story about it. He said he had like a partner that went like I don't know, but like he always respected like that anchor, that Navy anchor, man. He just always respected that, and I thought that was weird. And then like I don't know, like just because he had love for that, then he said he had friends in that he would talk to all the time about it. He's my favorite uncle. And then, like I said, it was this one Navy episode that, like, every time I go over his house, and he watching Walker Texas Ranger. Like, this episode was always on. I mean, back then niggas had VCR, so that could have
Mm-hmm.
been the case too. But
Recorded,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But yeah, so like he would always watch the episode, and like that'd be his favorite episode. Like, and he either had that on or like I want to say Murder She Wrote. Like you couldn't watch nothing else over his house, so it's like you had to watch the episode a lot. So yeah, yeah, man, it was just that. Like, and then just having like a lot of love for my uncle, and like sometimes I do stuff for people that I favor like vicariously though. Like I don't just want to do this for them. I do something like this that they like.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Can you share some of the biggest lessons you learned, you know what I'm saying, during your military time, your service?
um, discipline, uh, your image, um, and I would say like self worth
Yeah.
was probably like the biggest things that I learned in there. Um, and just the discipline because everything was just so time based to where you had to be on point at a time. And I had my own disciplines, but it kind of helped me boost my shit like a lot.
Mm.
Like it amplified my discipline. Like I'm super disciplined now, bro. I don't know, I can't explain it, but like as far as like the other two concepts, man, it's just like just my worth as a person, as is what I can bring to the world. You know, um, I don't know. Like it's kind of like the mindset thing we was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't know yourself, then you don't know what you can do. And like, bro, I never say can't, bro. I always say like failure is an early attempt at success. I gotta fail at it a lot of times to understand it, because you ain't gonna know it from the first time. So like, yeah, now I mean, it just made me just see life and look at myself in that perspective a different way when I come at things.
What was something that you learned about yourself while you know what I'm saying, were over there?
Man, I learned that I can really do it. Honestly, like I learned that I got more grit than I gave myself credit for. Um, like you hear so much ideas. Oh, this don't do that. It's the white man's problem, and then black people. Da, da, da. You hear all these ideas of what it could or potentially can be. So they're like you kind of put restrictions on yourself, even though you say you limitless. 'Cause people we kind of put our subconsciously puts like sensors on ourselves or just restrictions. So like I would like be restricted from just being open to it. And once I felt like because they're gonna break you no matter who you is
Mm-hmm.
in order to build you up in a disciplined way. So I don't give care how tough niggas say they are or anything like that. They're gonna break that and then they're gonna make you to a better person. And so I feel like knowing that I could do that and now what I can do with it, like I would say that was like the best like aspect out of it.
Yeah. What was the transition like, you know what I'm saying, from military life going back into civilian life?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. It changed a lot and like it kind of hurt because like people that you love and people that you got these good ideas about, you, you realize you had to quit fucking with them. You had to quit associating with them on like a level of trying to like, and like I don't say this respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
on a level like you got to quit messing with them or you just got to like discontinue anything if they're not trying to grow. If anytime that you come around them, and like I said, not saying you gotta love them, but it's like anytime you come around them, it's always just
Their vibration.
pessimistic.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
frequency.
like
Yeah.
man, like or it's a feeling, or it's just something schemy
We
going
don't
on.
vibe
Like
like we used to. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like man, I used to have like bonds with a lot of people, but then once I realized that, man, like that was the hardest part to me because like man, I love hard, man, and like and I respect hard, like because like I understand how humans are, and like nobody can do something for the first time ever in history. It's a pattern of repeated behavior. So once you understand about humans, bro, you can forgive anybody for doing anything because it ain't really that serious. And that's the type of person I am, bro. But like it's just certain people or things. But yeah, man. So like you just had to cut, like just part, like space. I ain't saying part ways, but you just had to part space, and I did that, and it hurt because like I used to just give like a lot of people access to me because like I'm that type of person. I don't care, like I don't care about status, I don't care about material, like bro. If we good, we always good. I ain't got no beef with nobody.
Mm-hmm. I remember
But
you always been like that.
but yeah,
All right,
bro.
so
Just
you're a father. Well,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, just having to cut off people that that you like love, man, and hold high regard for.
Yeah. That's the only way you can elevate. That's the only way you can actually pursue yourself. When I was listening to you, I was thinking about that crabs in the buckets saying. Even though it's similar but not the same, but like you trying to go to your path, and if you stay around that environment, they're gonna keep pulling you down. Keep you in that circle, you know what I'm saying?
Every
And
time.
you gotta get up out of there. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? All right, so You're a father of eight, you know what I mean? And that alone is a full time responsibility. What has fatherhood taught you about yourself?
Man, it's it, the main rule is just taught me to be a better man. You know, it's like a patient man, like a calm man, a more understanding man, uh, and like emotionally expressive man. Because I have four daughters and four boys, so it's evenly split down the middle. So yeah, just like those different layers of being a man, man, that's really what fatherhood taught me. It teaches me how to be a person, like to have a kinder heart, like 100%.
How you balance pursuing education, military service, and your personal goals with being present for your family?
Man, I I just try to think about who's important, which are the children,
Mm-hmm.
and and what I want to be, and where I want to be, and who I want to take care of, and and just just really believing that, and just putting every move forward towards that goal in the hand, like nothing else. Ain't nothing finna come my way, and ain't nothing finna, yeah, just really thinking about those aspects, and just putting the work in I have to do to make sure I hit that goal, or at least something close to that every day.
What's the most important value you want to instill in your children?
Um, Man, just to lead with integrity, um, and and be forgiving. I would say those are the two, the two main things. Just to be forgiven and just lead with integrity.
Now, I'm saying we talked offline. You know, what I mean, you mentioned writing a novel. What inspired you to start writing?
My kids, um, man, just I don't know. I've always been a writer. I've for years, like my whole life, even childhood, I've always been a writer. I've always been like a storyteller. I just never knew how to kind of make it come to fruition. And I did like a lot of research, and of course, like my kids are my biggest motivation. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to just see if I can do it for them. Something that like they can relate to, something that they'll see. Or see that something is possible if you just put your head to it. If something that you really love. Yeah. So really, just my kids, man.
Can you give us a glimpse of what your novel is about?
Yeah. So it's a sci-fi book. You I say a sci-fi religious book called Pantheons, and like a synonym for pantheons, it refers to all gods. So, and you know, it there are all the gods in this book are black gods, and like their name like after my children, but in kind of different versions or of their name. And it's basically like I said, a sci-fi religious book about God, creating everything and kind of sacrificing himself to give a piece of his powers to these eight black gods who going through these crazy turmoil on Earth, and then they kind of get it. They and it kind of inherit one of God's powers, and you know try to deal with that in real life, and taking over like religious threats. So yeah,
Do you see yourself publishing it in the near future?
yeah. I I got the book almost like 98% done. I've been working on it for 5 years, so I just want to make sure like everything is right. Like everything is right. I want to. Yeah, so because like I want to have a universal appeal on it. So, but I do see probably within the next probably 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I like, you know what I mean, check that out. All right, so earlier you spoke about mental growth and adopting a positive mindset. What was your turning point?
Man, intuition, that in just in negative environments and experiences I grew up in, I was in as a kid, or situations I got myself in, and just like the feeling of that, and not understanding why until I just had a certain experience to where I was just like, man, it was me or it was decisions that I was making. I think about the decisions, by self-reflection. A lot of us, we don't do that as far as our actions. So I had to self-reflect on all the decisions I was making that was bad, and I ain't like it, man. And I understood that was a fixed mindset. A lot of people have that, and I definitely had it on a lot of things. And man, I just did some research. Like I told you, I fact check. So I fact check ways to prevent that from happening. I fact check, ways to kind of amplify it, to get better at it. Man, so I've read damn near. I'm not gonna say all of Robert Greene's books, but I've read a lot. That's the guy that wrote 48 Laws of Powers. I read that. I read the Laws of Human Nature. I read Manipulation. Um, I've read Mastery. Um, and all his books, and these are really, 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 really good books. And but the first book that really just kind of opened my eyes to it all was this book called Mind Hack. And it's kind of like, the concept you said earlier is we don't use all of our brain, and it
Mm-hmm.
gives you a way to get access to like more of your brain than you used to. And I read that book like 3, 4 times. And it gives you exercise. It gives you just like it breaks it down to like almost a cellular level on how to think and why you so close minded and stuff like that. And bro, and once I read that book, bro, and then I read like Robert Greene's book because Robert Greene is like a genius. Like if you thought the 48 Laws of Power was something, bro, like I would recommend you read this book called The Laws of Human Nature by him, bro. It's gonna expand your mind to like a galaxy.
Check that out.
Oh yeah. So man, yeah, just reading those books, man, it just expanded my mind, and it made me see myself from like a third person point of view, and kind of readjust. How you modify stuff to your
Mm-hmm.
liking. Oh yeah. So I had to modify myself, but first I had to modify my mindset. Because huh?
I was gonna say my bad for cutting you off. I was just thinking that kind of reminded me of when I came into my growth in 2014, as far as studying Bobby Hutton and Fred Hampton, and then reading Huey P. Newton's Revolutionary Suicide book.
Yeah, man. And that
Like,
was a good one.
hmm like I thought about what they were doing at their ages at 16 and 21, and what I was doing.
Bro, they had growing mindsets. They understood what pride was.
Hmm
Especially Marcus Garvey, like the stuff that they were doing, they wanted access to the information.
hmm
I'm not saying we didn't, but per se, we have
hmm
peers that don't want to have access to that situation or that information. So, and that's why I fact check, bro. I've always been a fact checker, bro. Always, 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 always been a fact checker, bro. Because once you do that, that expands your concepts of how you go about stuff and how you do things.
hmm
I'm telling you, you got to fact check every little detail. That way, you know the path to go. You know why. You can stand on why. You can explain why.
And
So
that's why I tell people, like, don't believe me. I don't want you to believe me. You know what I mean? Yeah, do your own research so you'll know.
please, like,
You know what I mean?
I swear, like that's it.
Don't believe. I want you to know. So check it out yourself, and then look into it. Boom, boom. And there's other references, other resources. Don't just check one, check two, check three.
You have to because it's a probability. That don't mean it's always what it is.
Hmm But how do you stay focused and motivated during challenging times?
Man, you know what? I got a cousin that's locked down. I said his name. Ronnie Kaufman, big cousin. Like I respect him to death, man. And like that was one of my cousins on my daddy's side that I looked up to the most. He couldn't do no wrong in my eyes. No wrong. I don't give a fuck if you see him on camera with his ID out in his social. I just always respect him because he was like a man of integrity, like and respect, and you know, and like through his challenging parts of his life because he is locked down. You know what I'm saying? Like he still maintains a level headed mindset to me on some or certain things. You know, like when I talk to him, and and like that's what I liked about him. I valued about him, even though he was a heavy in the street fraternity. Like he heavy in it. Um, It's just that part about him, like I respect it even at a young age because, like you said, how gangsters can have heart,
Mm-hmm.
like that concept, and I knew he had it in him. And then when I talked to him, I remember I talked to him when I was working for Disney World in 2009. Um, I reached out to him. I just like randomly put some money on the JPay, when I can, and he was like, man, just stay focused, keep going. I'm proud, bro. When somebody's in a hard situation, bro, and they give you words like that, and like I ain't saying his situation is just like super, you know what I'm saying, but you understand the circumstances behind being a gay, bro. Like that mindset, the shit that he, used to do as a child, my childhood. Like I've always respected that part about him, bro. So I figured, like, man, like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do good, and even in the worst times, I'm gonna still stick it through. I'm a whatever, and like, bro, I got that from my cousin Ronnie, for real.
What advice would you give to somebody who feels stuck, in negativity and wants to change?
Uh, man, I would tell them study like, the frame of reference of what you're going through. And what I mean about the frame of reference is of why is this negative? Why what could you would have did better, and then like understand that part, and then like that's gonna make you look at anything that you do from three different multiple perspectives. You just gotta study, like, yeah, that frame of reference, and what you're going through. Like once you study that and understand it, you gonna grow, because you gonna understand why you're in this position. You gonna understand how you felt in that position, and it's gonna give you that hunger to never repeat that, to want to do better than that each step or each thing that you do. I guarantee you.
When you look back at your journey so far, what do you feel most proud of?
My kids, man, having kids, honestly, like, man, yeah, my kids,
What do you want your legacy to be for your children and for your community?
man, that, like, for both, I would say, like, the legacy of like our culture being like, just very, educated on your culture, um, educated on being like self-preserving, um, and just how I always spread love, or I always try my best, and like like, or always gave, like I always try to just be understanding.
My last question, before we wrap this thing up is what's next for Ahmad? You got any upcoming goals, projects, or dreams you're working towards?
What's next? So I graduate in December, and then I'm probably finna go to film school next, because I definitely want to try to get my John Singleton on. Yeah, so next step is film school. Yeah, so I want to try to see what I could do on the silver screen.
And we're looking forward to that book too.
Man, like I said, I will. On the under, I got your information. Like I said, I'm still trying to finish it up. I haven't finished it up. Like I said, this school is kicking my ass, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna have that done. And I already got the artwork and everything. I'll share that with you too.
Yeah, yeah, okay, bet. Like I said, I want to say I appreciate you, Ken Folk, for your time on this platform. It's been an honor having you on here.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Like, thank you for the opportunity. Man, keep doing this, keep pushing this, bro. Cause like I said, this is a line that I always push. I like this, what you're doing. So keep doing it, bro. Keep teaching, bro. Keep reaching. I'm telling you, the believers will come when they educate themselves. That's point blank.
Indeed, this has been another episode of the HOPE, helping our people elevate. And we're going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, family.
Yep.